Robert Crandall is the former chairman and CEO of American Airlines. He is with us this morning. Bob, so good to have you with us. From what you can tell from a distance, is Tony Fernandez handling this situation as well as he possibly can? And we need to remember while asking that question that Malaysia, for example, the Malaysian government in particular, came under so much criticism for the way it shared information in the wake of the disappearance of MH370.
Well, I think Tony's doing all that he can, Brendan. He's obviously expressed his sympathy and concern for the passengers, as he should. He's announced that they've got appropriate people from the airline. As airlines do, they'll put a whole crew of people out there to deal with each individual family to try and be as responsive as possible to the obvious concerns of those people. And he's on the scene and prepared to make whatever information he gets available to others. And that's about all he can do at this point.
Bob, it's Betty here. I hate to be, I don't want to get into conspiracy theories or try to read too much into certain trends, Bob. But, this is, as Brendan was saying earlier, could be, if in fact this plane is lost and it is crashed and all are killed, would be one of the worst, if not the worst, years in aviation in over a decade. What is exactly going on? Why are these incidences that we're hearing about, the major ones, happening among Asian airlines? Is there something to read in that?
You're a smart woman, and you have seen enough of these things to know that it isn't sensible to speculate until we know what's happening. We've had a number of these things, but you need to keep in mind that so far as we know, at least, they're not similar. That is, they are all tragedies. They're all shocking, but they, at least the ones we know about to date, have been for quite different reasons.
Bob,
so just have to wait and see what turns up. When this one, I think, I'll be very surprised if they do not find the wreckage, and I'll be very surprised if they aren't able to get the black box.
One thing, Bob, that many of these Asian airlines do have in common is that they have expanded at an unbelievably rapid clip. In the case of AirAsia alone, this is a company that back in 2008 had 78 planes. Today has 169 in service. So more than double the number of aircraft in the air in that short space of time. We're talking about only 6 years. Should we be asking the question whether they've been expanding too quickly?
Well, I think we should. I think it's perfectly appropriate to ask the question. The answer in this particular case, at least as far as the experience of the flight crew is concerned, is that these are very experienced people. The pilot in this case had some 23,000 hours. No reason to believe that training is deficient in any way. And so until we know something more, I think, although the question is certainly valid and needs to be asked, but I don't in any sense believe that the answer is going to turn out to be affirmative.
Robert, one of the things that the two flights have in common, this one and Malaysian Air 370, are that neither were carrying the type of satellite equipment that would regularly update to the satellite to give a sense of where the airplane was. I know that some carriers like Air France have retrofitted their entire fleets to make sure that that's available, but it's very expensive. It's about $30,000 a plane. Help me understand from your perspective, what's the cost-benefit analysis you do as an airline to decide whether or not you want to update your entire fleet at that cost?
Well, the answer, I think the answer here, and this is one of those things about which an area where, in my view, we need regulation. This is not something where we need to be dealing with cost-benefit trade-off. This is simply one of these things that ought to be done, because the fact is nobody wants to take off or to see an airplane take off and simply lose track of it and not be able to have information. So I do hope that the worldwide aviation authorities will come to a conclusion that this is something that's going to be required for commercial airlines.
Right, but Bob, I mean, I believe the IATA has already come out and made recommendations to upgrade technology, to upgrade their technology in certain aircraft, and the airlines have pushed back.
Well, the airlines need to stop pushing back, and governments need to make the point. Look, from an airline's point of view, as you know, you folks know perfectly well, airlines don't pay for anything, passengers do. So the fact is, if an airline spends some money to provide this kind of technology, it's going to raise the price of every individual ticket by $1, by $1.50, by $2, not by any material amount. And we're going to have what I think society as a whole will believe is a positive benefit.